Well, welcome aboard for another Memphis Monday. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to try to build this trophy case here on my left using a design. You can build it with just simple hand tools. The one on the right is the one I had a couple of neighbor kids make using a previous design, but we're going to try to correct some of the problems with the one on my right, the design flaws I put in it. Hey, look, we're not going to get anything done though if we just sit around here and talk, so let's knock off the chatter and get to work. What we're going for is this kind of bland design here that's completely ungaudy, that shows off the trophies instead of the case. In this design, the first thing you see some trim on the outside. I put that trim there to hide the joints. Another sin you can see is that the back is just nailed to the back. It's not sitting in a rabbet. Let's look on the inside. The third thing that I don't like about it is that the shelves, they are removable, but instead of setting in dados, they're set on cleats. And then the next big sin is that since we couldn't make rabbets to hold the glass in, the glass is held in by those cleats I put along the edge for the glass to bend around. Okay, we're going to try to correct all these problems in the version we do today. Okay, what I'm using here is some 1/2-inch plywood, and then the inner piece will be this piece of plywood, and that will be glued down on top of it, leaving a 3/8-inch rabbet at the bottom that'll hold the bottom, and a 1/8-inch rabbet at the top to accept the glass. Here you can see the layup of the design. This is the 1/4-inch plywood. It's actually 3/16-inch plywood on top. This is a 3/8-inch fake rabbet for the bottom. And now I'm marking the depth of the fake rabbet in the top by setting my compass at 1/8 of an inch. Now when I cut that, I'll have a rabbet in the top and the bottom once I connect it. Now just glue these pieces on here and see if the system works. Well, I don't know why this won't work. This looks like pretty good rabbets to me. Let's take these clamps off and see how she turned out. I got it all mocked up here, and looks like our fake rabbit came out fine. Both sides and on the bottom. Okay, next thing is to put a rabbet across the top, rabbet across the bottom, and 4 dados in the sides. So let's get to it. Okay, let me show you here on the prototype what we have to get done. We got to get a dado here. Got to get a dado here. We need a rabbet to hold the front glass in here. We need a rabbet in the back to hold the back in. And we need dados up here in the corners. We need a dado there, and we need a dado there. Let's go over the workbench and see how we're going to do that. To make the dados and all 6 rabbets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rabbets and 4 dados. What I've done is I've just cut these little pieces of wood that will slot right in here. And of course these can be cut anyway. You cut them with a jigsaw, cut them with a handsaw. Pretty simple cuts. And then I'll glue those in place, and then my shelves will go into those dados. Just like that. Let me attach these panels and we'll see how it works. Well, they're the rabbits and the dados. I think unless you were suspicious, you would never even notice that they're fake. Everything's going real well so far, but we're about ready to get off the chain. Okay, if you're around when we built this a couple of weeks ago, we actually installed this piece of oak into the sides and top before we split the case, and that's what we're going to be trying today. What I did here is take each one of these boards and measure up 5.5 inches and cut the side, both sides, and the top and bottom right down the middle. Then I inserted this piece of 1.5 inch pine in there, so when we split the case we'll cut right down the middle here. Well, I got the glue up all done, and what I'm doing now is cleaning out wherever this piece of clear pine crossed the dados. I have to clean it out with a chisel. It's not hard, but it's just got to be careful, and it's kind of tedious. I got the box all clamped up and glued. Let me show you how I'm going to hold the joints together. I can't use nails in these joints, so what I'm going to use is dowels. I have these long dowels here, and they will go in these holes. Gotta drive them in, but they'll be stronger than nails. What happens is you put this, you put the glue on it, and you drive it in. The glue swells the dowel up a little bit, and it becomes very, very strong. Now it's just a matter of sawing these things off flush. Pretty easy. You had a good saw. And then this is what the joint looks like when it's finished. Okay, let me finish this and we'll put the back on it. Something you probably knew and then forgot. Most staple guns will shoot these little 5/8 inch specially built brads. They come in a little package like that. And if you kind of get same brand as your stapler, in this case it's an Arrow, then they just slide in there like that, and you can shoot it just like regular brads. Thought I'd give you a close-up here of how this staple gun brad nailer works. First thing you got to do is figure out where your brad comes out on your stapler, so that you can position your gun right. Especially here, we only have 3/16 of an inch to work with, so that thing has to go in perfect. Okay, then when you get it just where you want it, fire it in. Now these, unlike a nail gun, you have to set these. They'll be just a little bit proud of the surface. And just get you a punch and tap it in. Okay, what I'm doing here is cutting out the internal shelves using a jigsaw. Of course, if you have a bandsaw, that works maybe a little faster, but you're not really giving up much by using a jigsaw. Thing you just saw me cut out, it's basically the same size as a shelf. It's slightly thicker or wider, but its purpose will be to just be in here when I cut the top off. It's just a sacrificial shelf while I do some cutting. I'm going to cut out the other two shelves. Okay, I'm cutting the plexiglass for the top, and really one of the best things to use is a jigsaw. To tell you the truth, I had to go down to the hardware store and buy some ride size finish nails. What I'm doing now is practicing. Okay, the first thing I fixed is I got some thinner trim, and I bent it around that curve, glued it, and then clamped it. And now I'm going to put some 1-inch finish nails on it. On this other version, I tried to use the 5/8 inch staple gun brads, but they didn't have enough bite. So here I'm going to use some 1-inch regular finish nails into it. Okay, I hope this glue holds. Should hold. So I get the finish nail in there. What I'm doing here is just putting a little bit of wood filler in all these little holes we made, all the countersinks. We normally split these cases with the table saw, and I think you're going to be surprised to see that a jigsaw works just as good. All right, so I guess it all worked out all right. I guess next thing to worry about is some shelves. So here I'm putting on the trim on the shelves, and for this trim I can use the stapler brads, because this trim is much lighter and bends easier. Well, I'm putting hinges on. Put some, do a little sanding. Do a little sanding and we should be able to wrap this project up. Now let's see if she opens up. Sometimes these shelves don't make the turn. I beveled them off a little bit. Alrighty. Well, overall I'm pretty satisfied. We got the trim taken off the outside and put those dowels in instead. We got our fake rabbits and fake dados. Got rid of the cleats holding the shelves in. We got rid of the cleats holding the glass. Put in some fake rabbits. We're able to install the integral trim here that we installed before we did the case. All of our fasteners are hidden. I still got to finish it. I'm not going to take the plastic, the protective plastic off the glass until after I stain it and put some polyurethane on it. Well, I guess that'll do it for another Memphis Monday. I think we got our money's worth today. We built a trophy case, a mini helmet case, using a design that allows you to build the whole thing using just a sander, jigsaw, staple gun that shoots brads. The trim you just buy at the store. Plywood you just buy at the store. I showed you how to cut the plexiglass with using a jigsaw. And so anyway, I think it turned out pretty good. It's our fake dados and fake rabbits turned out much better than I thought they were going to. And I will, I still got to do some more sanding on it and do a little staining and some, I'll put some dope on it, and I'll show it to you completely finished next week. All right, so anyway, I guess that's it. I can't think of anything else. Yep, I can. Make sure you're back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for watching.